Straight out the boot room to Wembley, our second home. We come to conquer, no, we never walk alone. We dominate, the cream of the crop, drawing all our strength from the roar of the cock. It's all for one and one for all. Pass a move, we're talking total football. Here we go again, Roy's red machine. Liverpool, the greatest team the world has ever seen. Pass a move, it's the Liverpool crew. Pass a move, it's the Liverpool crew. Pass a move, 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 it's the Liverpool crew.
Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. It's been a little bit longer than either of us wanted it to be, but we are back once again. The Reds are flying. It keeps getting better and better week by week. Performances are very just a bit all over the place at the minute, but when you're getting the results, you don't really care about that. We'll start with the weekend's game, touch on that a little bit. Obviously, Brighton twice in about 4 days it was. And that first half against Brighton was horrific. One of the worst halves of football I've seen us play in a long time. Couldn't see where the goal was coming from, to be honest with you. They defended well, they played well to the credit. Nullified us very well, but I mean, yeah, from our point of view, it was as bad as it's been all season. The first half, anyway.
It was, but I'm coming to expect it now. I think I've said to you before, like under Klopp, we went through a phase where we were like a 45-minute team where we played bad, but we'd still overexert ourselves and kill ourselves. Where Arne Slot just literally think that he feels like we get the upper hand if we don't waste any energy in the first half. I feel like it's not past the plan to play bad, but to not kill ourselves and let them get a false pretense that they've got a really good chance of beating us. And obviously Brighton did. Brighton played well. We created very little. They had a few chances, but again, nothing really to say they battered us. We just weren't that good. But there was hardly any danger on our goal. And then, we just turn a gear and another gear and another gear, and then we turn up the second half a different team. And I feel like we done the same the other day. There's something in us where we can go through the motions when we need to, and whether it's a kick up the arse from the manager or whatever, who cares? It's working. And when we do get going, we look an unbelievable side, and it's a joy to watch.
Yeah. Well, I was saying to my dad the other night with the Leverkusen game, which we will touch on properly in a minute, but I was saying to him then, like, it's almost as if we played the first half thinking, right, let's just make sure we're still in the game, not fucking, 3 or 4 goals down or nothing like that. Get in at half time, and then it's almost like Arne Slot's going, right, look, get in at half time. I'll tell you what you need to do to change this game and make sure we win it. And that's what we do in the second half. And it's just, like you say, when we turn it on, we're absolutely brilliant to watch. But I think it is just that, like you said, we're not overexerting ourselves in the first half. We're not killing ourselves. And I think it's just still, we're still only, 4 months into Arne Slot at the club, 3-4 months. It's still getting used to that difference in style from Klopp to Slot, where we are just playing a patient game in the first half, waiting, and then just coming out all guns blazing to win it second half.
I feel as though he sees it as 2 different games, and he feels like there's a lot of time in both. The 45 minutes, as you say, is to not be getting battered and to have a chance to win the game in the second half without killing ourselves, letting them, pass the ball around and run round and tire themselves out and get a false pretense. It's like a boxer taking a knock, and then, the fella who's batting you goes gung-ho, and then you hit him with one. And that's what we're like at the minute. We're letting them feel like they can punish us and hurt us, and then we go and get them. And say when we do, we hunt them down, we kill them. And at the minute, it's the first half isn't enjoyable. And there has been times I've spat my dummy out watching it going, this is dire. But then you get an understanding of what's happening. When you see that the flick of the switch and the change, it's tactical, it's planned. They're not going to go out there and go for it from the off in certain games. Again, we know Brighton's a difficult game. We know Leverkusen's a very, very, very difficult game. And we've made mistakes in the past where we've gone for the throat early on and it's cost us points and, effectively trophies in the long haul. So to play the patient game and to just make sure that whatever we do works is the main thing. And that's what we're doing at the minute. If you can score that many goals in a half against Leverkusen, they were being beat twice in like a year. it's remarkable, to be honest, because they weren't bad. They looked good, and I know we'll talk about that now. But the Brighton game again, I think the thing with Brighton, the Nottingham Forest game has done him in. It's playing on his mind, and I don't think he's going to let that happen again.
Yeah,
I think he's willing to be patient and pass the ball around. We almost look as if we're the away team in every game we play in the first half. We did at Chelsea, we did the other night against Leverkusen, Brighton. They look like the home team when we play them, and we're quite happy to let them pass the ball around in the centre circle. And then as soon as they start coming towards our goal, very often we take it off them. So, yeah, it's a game of two halves with Arne Slot at the minute. It's a patient game, a bit boring, quite passive, very Rafa Benitez, letting them have all the possession and control of the game. But in the background, we're in control, we're allowing that to happen, and then we go. And I think it's a different dynamic of football for me, watching us play the two types, and it is enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it is, absolutely. And you look at some of the players who, again, we've spoke about this season, improvements under Slot and how much the sort of looking more comfortable in the roles. And, you look at someone like Curtis Jones, called up to the England team today again. Hopefully he can finally get that cap that he deserves, because I think right now he's in the form of his life. He's a player, we've probably both said it down the years, he always looks like he wants too much time on the ball, never really sure of what he wants to do. And it's weird, he still looks like that player, but now he's actually getting that time on the ball that he needs. And you look at that pass against Leverkusen that he's put through was just absolutely sublime. But even just the decision to play Saladin against Brighton when he has, I think even last season, Jones wouldn't have played that pass. He would have chose a pass sooner. He wouldn't have kept onto the ball, and he wouldn't have thought about it for the sort of 5 seconds longer than he has done, you know what I mean? And I think that's the difference in him at the minute. He knows that he needs the time on the ball, so he's making sure he takes the time on the ball instead of feeling like he's rushed, and we're reaping the rewards from him at the minute.
Yeah, he's maturing, isn't he? He's now, how old is he now? 22, 23. So he's a young man. We still call him a young player, but he's a man now. He's playing, but he's had to come through at a time where we've had some of the best midfielders in the world playing for us, and he's got to be patient, and it's always a bit more pressure coming through the academy and all that. But we are getting the best out of him now, and we've always seen, from the days when we're playing the kids against Everton and he's scoring the goal, knocking them out the cup, which was a joy to see. We've always seen his potential there and a proper talent. It's just getting the best out of him, and I think Slot's making him feel like a key figure in that team when he plays. It's Dominic Szoboszlai's not having the greatest season, but he's come straight in and took his place. As far as I'm concerned, and many Reds will say the same, that he offers a little bit more. He's creating his own space. He's able to twist and turn and get away from players, and he just looks a lot more confident. And yeah, we look a better team with him in it. And he's also, when he's not starting, he's a great player to bring on off the bench because he does make shit happen. So, he scored, he's got assists, so he's having a really good season, and hopefully it continues for a long, long time.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk this season about the left back position. People say we need to go out in January or the summer and buy a new left back. Right now it looks like Tsimikas is first choice. I suppose 2 questions. Do you think we do need to go and buy a left back, whether it's in January or the summer? People are saying sell Tsimikas and drop Robbo to second choice and bring someone new in. But do you think that would be the right thing to do? But what's your take on the whole left back situation at the minute? I think Tsimikas is playing very well at the minute.
I think first of all, you've got to give Robbo a little bit of fucking respect, and he's nowhere near finished. His legs have gone a little bit, and he's a little bit slower. But if he's going to be playing 3/4 of a season instead of a full season, then that's fine with me. I think you've seen the other day, he comes on, wins the ball straight away, sets up one of our goals just through sheer determination. So yeah, he's one of them that when he's playing bad, he starts off horrific sometimes and then gets better and better and better as other players are getting tighter. When you think he'd be fucked, he's not. He's getting fitter and fitter. So he's always been the case with Robbo. When he's been out for a little bit and he comes back in, he struggles and he makes rash decisions. But he always gets back to his best, and I think we've seen spells of that this season from him already. You know, he got roasted against Chelsea a little bit, but you're playing against some of the fastest players in the league there. So, again, you've got to appreciate that you can't just win the ball every time, and you are going to get skinned here and there. So, for me, Robbo's still first choice. He's still the better left-back. Tsimikas is a decent option. I just feel like he's always... feel like he targets the man and not the ball. Even the other day, he made about 3 tackles where he didn't even look at the ball. He just goes straight for the man. I think he's a danger. I think he can cause us harm in games where we're hanging on, and he's going to give them stupid fouls where you know he's going to give away, like Salif Diao. And you know it's coming. You can see it's coming. It's a foul before he's even stepped foot towards the ball. But again, as a number 2, he's doing all right. He's having a good season. He just needs to stop them stupid fouls, and he's all right. Again, I don't watch a lot of footy outside of us, so I couldn't go and say there's a left back I think we should get. I think he'll improve us. I think the style of play at the minute suits Robbo, where it's not like full throttle, up and down. He's able to just defend, but he's still got that in his head. Like, sort of, if he wins the ball here, he can make this happen, and I think that's where his mistakes are coming from.
Yeah. No, I mean, you talk about names, and I think the 2 that have been mentioned are Nori from Wolves and Kerkez from Bournemouth, who obviously set up the 2 goals for Bournemouth against City the other day.
Get him.
Yeah, get him just for that. So, I mean, again, they're not necessarily names that are going to set the world alight, but then at the same time, you say that and you think they're probably ideal signings for Liverpool. We kind of do bring these players in who don't necessarily set the world alight for you at the time, who grow into be better players. I don't know. I think, like you said, I think there's a bit of disrespect going around on Robbo's name in that sense when people are saying we need to drop him and need to be selling Tsimikas. Tsimikas, for the most part, he hasn't really put a foot wrong when he's played. Yeah, he can be a bit rash at times, as you say, but I think overall, as a deputy, he's absolutely sound for it. You know what I mean? And as I say, I think right now he's probably playing the best that he's played for us since he's been here. I think he looks like he's stepped up a bit to the point where, as I say, it does look like at this moment in time, he does appear to be the first choice at the minute. So whether it's true or not, I don't know. That could just be one of the positions that, Slot likes to rotate more than others. But look, if we've got 2 left backs playing well and he wants to rotate them, then I'm happy with that. He doesn't, obviously we've seen he doesn't really like to rotate too much unless it's absolutely necessary. But I'd say if that's one position he thinks that it needs it, then fair enough.
He's doing it with Trent as well, though. Trent's coming off every single game because you've got to manage these players. They're busy, they're working hard, and they're playing in a system now that is different than we played before, where they are fixating on defending. They've still got to get up and down, but they are fixating on it, and it's tiring, it's hard work, and yeah, I think rotation's key for players like Andy Robbo, who's been getting knocks recently and stuff like that. So, yeah, just whatever he's doing, it's working. And Robbo comes on like a new player when he comes on, like a man possessed, and he tries his hardest, and he always will. So, I think for me, there's a little bit of sentiment there with Robbo because of like the reaction when we signed him, and we didn't expect it to go as well as it did, and he's probably one of Klopp's best signings, to be honest. So, you want to see him in and around that squad through merit. Time's getting on. He is getting a bit older, but he's not ready to be replaced yet for me. I think he's still the starter, and gradually he will be phased out the team as time goes by, like every single player, but not just yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be unfair if we didn't mention Kelleher for both games as well. Again, just we're so lucky to have Kelleher behind Alisson there because, like we said last season, and we can say it again this season, like how many keepers can come into a team where you think, right, we've got the best goalkeeper in the world and we're not missing him? Like it's unheard of. And we're blessed. We've never really been in this position where we've had 2 genuinely world-class goalkeepers. And then you've got Jaros there as the third keeper as well. And it's like, fucking hell. I've got a proper Mane, Salah, Firmino of keepers there, haven't you?
Yeah, Kelleher's been brilliant, lad. The thing with him as well is he hasn't been kept that busy. So to stay warm and to stay that focused to make the saves he has, he made 3 in one game, one after the other. A few quick attacks against Brighton, was it? And he could have scored a few late on, and then again Leverkusen made a few saves. To be cold and to not be interacting in the game and not be involved, to then pull off saves like that that's Alisson Becker level. And there's not many keepers who are like that. So yeah, I think Slot's got a bit of a headache because of Alisson's injuries. I don't think it's fair to go, right, you've conceded 1 goal in the Champions League, you've conceded a couple of goals in the league. Since Alisson's been out, he walks straight back in, because I don't think that's how it should be. For me, he hasn't put a foot wrong, and until he does, he starts. And that might sound absolutely fucking bonkers, because Alisson is the best goalie in the world, but in terms of sentiment and to make players want to stay at your club, I think that's the right thing to do. You've got to take your chance, and when you get it, take it. And if you take it and then you get binned anyway, it's a bit harsh for me. So yeah, I think as far as I'm concerned, there's no need to rush Alisson back at the very least. Like once he gets in and he's match fit, leave him another week or 2. Come out, do you know what I mean? Just let's get him back fit and then see where we go.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. People, obviously, we've got Mamardashvili coming in next summer, and people are resigned to us losing Kelleher. And I'm probably one of them, to be fair. It does seem like that would be the option. But do you think there's somewhere in the thinking that they're going, do we cash in on Alisson next summer because of his injury record, as good as he is? And I don't want to sell him, don't get me wrong. That's not me saying I want to sell him before anybody fucking gets it all twisted and fucking gets on me back, because I absolutely do not want to sell Alisson. But do you think the club are looking at that thinking, look, you're getting a long-term injury at least once a season. We've got a keeper in Kelleher there who is one of the best keepers out there. It's getting to a point where it's disingenuous to call him the best number 2 in the world. He's one of the best number 1s in the world, playing behind the best number 1 in the world. Do you think that they're looking at it as a case of bring Mamardashvili in, and then you've got Kelleher and Mamardashvili fighting for that number 1?
Well, based on Alisson's comments that he was included in like the conversations and that before the approach, Mamardashvili, that's his name. How you say these names baffles me. I have to write them down on my arm and that. Yeah, the fact that they've had a conversation with Alisson and made sure he's happy with it and includes him, I think it's Alisson staying unless he wants to leave. I don't think it make any sense in cashing in on a player of that quality. But it'd be absolutely disastrous if we let Kelleher go for next to nothing. Like apparently we put him in the market for 20 mil in the summer and no one came forward.
No one, yeah,
price,
baffles me.
Absolutely bizarre. And again, I don't want to see him go, but he deserves to be playing first team football week in, week out. And I think if we didn't have Alisson in goal, he's starting.
Yeah, 100%.
If he goes to any team in the Prem, barring maybe 3 or 4, he starts for every single team. And across Europe, he's one of the best goalies on the planet. If we get it's our last because we want the money for him, because we know his capabilities. I'd suggest, even for like a season, loan him out, try and keep him happy until Alisson is of an age where you're like, right, he's nearly done now, and then try and keep him at the club. But it's not going to happen, lad. I think the best thing for a business point of view from Liverpool is to sell him and to put a clause in that we get first dibs when we want him back, because I bet my life we end up going back in for him at some point.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, no, it's going to be a shame to see him go, but I think for his career, it unfortunately it is probably the right move eventually. But yeah, the fact no one was willing to buy him for 20 mil in the summer is absolutely mad.
I just wonder how it fixes in his own mind when he knows Alisson. He's played nearly every season since he's been a number 2, long spells, cup finals, cup games. So he must know in his head Alisson's due an injury somewhere. I reckon he's spiking something, isn't he? No,
he's got a voodoo doll on, hasn't he?
But yeah, I think in his own mind he must be thinking, you know what, if I just sit it out another year or 2, that's the point where I break through and I'm Liverpool number 1 and can go on to win all these trophies. And just, it must be a hard decision to make, leaving a club like us for football when he, in spells, he's carried us as well. So whatever happens, good luck to him. But I'd love to see him stay at Anfield.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, no, he's been fantastic again, as we say, and long may that continue. Obviously, let's get on to the Leverkusen game because again, that first half wasn't a bad first half from us, but I think there was just I said it during the game. There was a noticeable lack of quality in the first half from both teams. I think we both sort of give each other a bit too much respect. Didn't want to go gung ho at each other. Didn't want to really attack too heavily against us. I think we kind of cancelled each other out first half. But then again, that second half, I mean, it was brilliant again. And I think got to mention the crowd as well for both games, by the way, because they've started it in both games. I think the crowd's got up a bit. The players have felt it, started getting going. The crowd's improved even more, and it's just been they kind of bounced off each other then, and it's got us over the line. That's the Anfield we know it can be, and what people say all the time, why can't it be like that every week? It's not going to be like that every week. Get that out your head. It's never ever been like that every week, despite what you might believe. But I don't know if you've seen that tweet from a Leverkusen fan saying we must have had speakers in the stadium because it was too loud. There's no way people can be that loud.
It is though. I think some bird posted a picture of a watch and it come up like the decibels have reached.
Yeah.
And if you continue like this for half an hour, you're in danger. And I thought that is Anfield. That's the Anfield we know. And as you just said, then it's not going to be like that every week. We've seen not as fans put on Twitter, it's a myth. Yeah, because you're just shite. We're not going to be up for it and have our tails between our legs against likes of Notts Forest because they're fucking crap. So it's a big game draws a big crowd, and a big crowd draws big noise, and that's what happens when the team needs support. We really get behind them in games where we think we're at risk of not winning. In the other games where we think we should be winning or we're losing because it's our own fault, we do get a bit of a fucking cob on, and it's a bit dead. But them big games where we need to get behind the team, we're there, and it does make its way onto the pitch and feel like it scores 1 or 2 goals itself, the atmosphere alone. But yeah, Leverkusen, as I said before, the first half was a bit drab. It was like a game of chess, which very congested. Both teams trying similar things. I thought they played the better football and possibly looked the better team in the first half. Tactically, I think they did get through us a little bit. And then once they get to our box, we just fill in and stop every attack. I don't think they caused us any danger at all in the first half. We created 1 or 2 really good chances. So it weren't dead exciting, but when we got going, it was like there's something going to happen here. That's only in the first half. So we, as fans, we've got to realise that it's not the clock time anymore, and that we're not going to press for 90 minutes, and we're not going to go mental for 90 minutes. It's not going to be rock and roll football non-stop. It's going to be done and calculated as moments arise. And it's like he's got a walkie-talkie and he's shouting, go, go, go in certain situations, because we just click into gear. Could have the ball in our own half, and next minute we're in their box. And that's just the way we attack. If we don't think it's on, we're a bit more cautious, and it is a bit boring to watch at times. But just that the first half had vibes of Rafa Benitez. Like, these could potentially be a better football team than us. So let's ride the storm. Let's take the sting out the game, and let's hit them in the second half and try and get a win. And if we'd have done that and won 1-0 playing that way, still 3 points on the board, still top of the Champions League, you're happy. But the way we turned it on in the second half is like remarkable. Literally, like it's just a flick of a switch. It's just outrageous how you can play that reserved and calculated and cautious, and then just go fuck it, go bang, go for it. But I think everything we do is calculated. I think every press, every position, everything we're trying to do is based on where the ball is and how far away we are and stuff like that, before we make a decision whether we're going to press or not. Because we just don't sprint around needlessly anymore.
No.
You've seen videos of the likes of Robbo, like running around 4 or 5 plays trying to win the ball back, and last season Szoboszlai was doing it. Now it's like press when you need to press and stay back when you need to stay back. It's just dead simple footy, dead effective. And when we get going and we dissect teams, we kill them. It's just It's brilliant. But yeah, Leverkusen, I was a bit in shock, lad. That second half was like bizarre.
Yeah, it like you said, it's like a flick of a switch, just come out of nowhere, and to put 4 goals past that team, like you said, is remarkable feat. When you consider what they've done the last sort of 12 to 18 months or so, absolutely unbelievable. And it was just again that pass from Jones to set Diaz up for the first one, and then the finish was just sublime. Again, I didn't know what he was going to try there, and if he had obviously know he's got the quality to do that, but I don't know. You just don't always expect them to pull it off. Especially, I think that's one thing we've kind of said about Diaz in the past is he's not the most clinical. He's not the most sort of effective in terms of his goals and assists. His numbers aren't as good as they can be or they should be for the player who gets in the positions he gets in. And I think we spoke about it earlier this season. Like the improvement you're seeing with Diaz is amazing as well, because you think, he can beat a man again. I think he was struggling with that last season, but again, like just them 3 goals, all relatively simple finishes, bar in the first one. But again, last season, I don't think he scores all 3 of them. I think he misses probably 2 of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's got his confidence back, and I think a lot of it's to do with playing so long without an injury. When he done his knee bad, didn't he? And then he come back into the fold, and he was in and out the team last season, and now he feels like he's full of confidence. He's getting played where he likes. I think he's been quoted saying he prefers to play through the centre as well. So he played him there. I didn't think he was very effective the first half, and then just a beautiful pass from Jones, and there he is, 1-on-1. What do you do? What do you do in that situation? And what he did do was just the calmest, unreal finish. It was magic. He just looks like he's enjoying his footy again, and long may that continue, because he's an absolutely quality player. He's putting a graft in. He's skillful. He's got everything you need from a winger. As you say, he's beating a man again. He's getting on the ball. He's making things happen, and he just looks happy. So get him signed long term, and fuck all the narrative that he's going off, because that's another thing that's pissing me off.
Yeah, no, I mean it's we haven't heard much from his dad lately, have we? So
fucking kidnapped him again. That's why. Fucking dickhead.
I know, yeah. Life was easier when he was kidnapped on it. But no, but you know what? I think I hadn't seen that quote about him saying he prefers playing through the middle, but it kind of suits us at the minute. Nunes, it looks like he's the one who's going to be coming off the bench a lot. Looking very effective when he does as well, both offensively and defensively. Quite happy with his contributions off the bench at the minute. Jota, as great of a finisher as he is, again, he's just not reliable enough injury-wise. And I know you can't blame. I've seen people having a go with him for getting injured this time, and it's like, I'm not being funny. He had a 6'4", fucking 12-stone man fall on his ribs. Like, not many players are going to not be injured from that. I'm not being funny. You can't blame him for that. But at the same time, it's something every year with him. And again, it's multiple injuries every season. And again, as great of a finisher as he is and as clinical as he is, he's not reliable in that sense. So if Diaz wants to play in the middle, Gakpo prefers playing on the left, and he's looking fantastic himself at the minute. That's your front three right there for the time being.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if Nunes just accepts that that's what he is, he's a game-changing player, not a bit part. He's a game-changer. Comes on and gets the bit between his teeth and goes for it and drives us on, and he accepts that, then it's happy days all round. And if Jota's there and he's available, then Slot's got headaches, because when he is available, he's fucking Robbie Fowler-esque in the box. But it's how often are you available? Can you keep changing? Can you keep making other players unhappy when a player's out every couple of months? So, yeah, it's good headaches to have, lad. Jota's quality. Gakpo is looking a lot better. He's ghosting in from the left and making things happen. If he gets his crossing a little bit more on points, he'll get about 10-15 assists this season. It's just looking all dead good at the minute. I think everyone's thriving. Everyone's seeing this new challenge as exactly that, a challenge. They need to prove themselves, and they all are. There's not really anyone letting us down at the minute. There's a few who aren't making a bigger contribution as the others, but just let it be as it is.
Yeah. What's your take on this new Champions League format? There's people, saying it's boring and it's nowhere near as good, and like I think it's the opposite. I think it's been great so far. You're looking at the table right now, and you've got obviously us top, but you've got Villa up there, you've got Brest from France up there, you've got Monaco up there, and then further down the table, you've got like Real Madrid in like 19th, Bayern Munich right down there, PSG down there. Like I think it's fucking boss.
Those who aren't in the top part won't like it. It's that simple. Arsenal fans moaning, "Oh, it's fucking shit. We should be able to go and play into Milan at the Emirates." No, that's what the later stages of this format is for. When the big guns meet the big guns, you play home and away, and that's what happens. But when you're getting beat left, right, and centre, then you might not make that stage, and that's your own fault. So I didn't like the format. I didn't understand why they were going to change it. It practically is a Super League, but the superior teams aren't doing the biz at the minute. So in terms of looking at the league table and looking at the shock results, it's well better. Because in the old format, you knew if you won 3 games, you were through.
Yeah.
Practically you were through, or you were guaranteed European football. So you took your foot off the gas a bit. There's 4 games left. Madrid are going to have to go on a fucking rampage. They're going to have to play the strongest team. PSG going to have to play the strongest team. Arsenal going to have to play the strongest team.
City.
Fucking great. Us, in the meantime, might play our reserves.
It's no, I do genuinely just think it's just refreshing. Like you say, if we'd have been in the group now, won 4 games, we were through. So we would start bringing some of the bit part players in to play the other games to rest them for the league and stuff like that. We still can't afford to do that in it. But then, like you said, the bigger teams, your Madrid, your PSGs, your Arsenals, your Cities, they've all got to go out and play the strongest teams still while they're going in the league and dropping points. And it's just fucking. It's right now. It's all just sort of working in our favour, and we're just plodding along. People still don't really think we're a threat in either competition, which suits us. We've always said that we absolutely love this scenario. We want people to underestimate us and write us off, so it suits us. But yeah, it's just kind of just all nicely falling into place. Even Saturday, I thought it was going to be another one of them games where both our fucking title rivals lose and we don't capitalise on it. I thought it was going to be.
That was nailed on to happen, and then the magic happens, and Anfield turns into the fortress, and the players got to kick up the arse, and that's the difference we've got that everyone else hasn't got. When it does click into gear and our fans go, fucking hell, they're getting beat, we need to go here, and they go, we fucking do it. But yeah, the format is dead simple. Like, fucking hell, the ones who are playing the best, that it's nice that it is. There's a bit of a change where the top teams have still got to play a top team. You've got to play someone from pot 1. So there isn't like you're not getting a bad draw. There's no way you're drawing 7 opponents or 8 opponents, is it?
Yeah, 8.
8 opponents and them all being shit. You're going to get someone from pot 1, pot 2. So it's a good mix. And I prefer that. Like,
yeah, it's fairer, isn't it? Because like you say, you're not just getting one team from pot 2. Say where we were a pot 1 team, so we would have got a pot 2 team, a pot 3 team, and a pot 4 team. And realistically, it's like, all right, yeah, you batter them, the pot 4 team, home and away. You batter the pot 3 team, home and away. You have a bit of a harder game against the pot 2 team, but realistically, the odds of you finishing with 18 points out of 18 in the group was high if you were a pot 1 team. Whereas now, like you say, we've had to play Leverkusen with our home. It was our away pot 1 team. I think it might have been Milan. Was our home pot 1 team. Made them look very average, in fairness. Considering they've just gone and beat Madrid this week, which is fucking, I was quite shocked by. But then we've got to have Madrid come to fucking Anfield in a couple of weeks,
and they need to win.
And they need to win. It's like, it's just, it's refreshing.
And
it's
the type of game where you're going to see us sit back and let them have possession and let them go for it and try and hit them on the counter attack and frustrate them. And let's do what they've done to us for years. Let's sit there and fucking hold them and just wait and then pick them off. Fucking twats. So can't play them.
No, it's good. It's it's just nice, isn't it? Because you don't get a game of that magnitude this early in the season. That's final, that's a semi-final. You know what I mean? The fact that you get one in November is fantastic all around for the competition.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I do think it's like, obviously we'd be having a different conversation if the top 8 was all City, Arsenal, Real Madrid, PSG, be fucking boring. But that's what you'd expect. That's exactly what you'd expect from the quality that's out there. But it feels like the little bit of grace that they get in the group stage has gone, and now it is every man for themselves. And fucking hell, these teams that I don't know what it is. I think because it's a big league, you've got to finish in the top 16, haven't you?
So top 8 is what you want.
Top 8, you need to get in to qualify, but then is it what?
Yeah.
Then the top
9 to 20, whatever it is, 24. The next 16 basically play a playoff against each other.
Yeah, so you're absolutely, you finish in the top 16 and you're sorted. So for a team that hasn't got big hopes, that's still a reasonable target to go at. And let's scrape into the 16th place. And that's why everyone's tying their heart out. And it's looking good.
Yeah, I do think
we're just sat on top of the world at the minute, top of all competitions, in every cup competition, and looking very well. But, same can't be said about anyone else.
No, and that's the mad thing, isn't it? We're sitting here now, we're 16 games into Arne Slot's time at the club, and we've lost once. Drew another one. We've won I think it's 14 out of 16 games, isn't it? The best start for the new manager in English top flight history. Like nobody seen this coming. I don't think I don't think any Liverpool fan seen it coming. I don't think certainly fans of other teams didn't see it coming. All the pundits had us scraping fourth if we were lucky. The job he's done so far has been miraculous, and obviously we're not stupid enough to know that there's not going to be a blip somewhere throughout the season. There is going to be a blip, but if it can only be a game or two, and we're actually still in a good position, whereas we might be a few points ahead of the teams like City and Arsenal, then sky's the limit.
We discussed it before the season. We basically we said what Klopp had left us with, and we overachieved last season, but the squad's there to build on. The target's got to be finishing the top 4 and have an half-decent Champions League run and try and win a cup. So, if you'd have offered me get to the Champions League quarter-final, the Carabao Cup, FA Cup semi-final and top 4, you're taking it all day long. They look like we're diminishing our own dreams there by saying that. But that's still a reality that could happen. We could have a blip that puts us in that situation. But at this moment, the dream is the league title and the Champions League and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, because we're in all of them. So that's where football takes you. We're in every competition. We're looking like we could win every competition. If it continues like this, we will win every competition. So we've just got to keep riding it, the fucking waves, and see where they take us. But at the minute, Slot's machine is fucking boss. And we don't look like getting beat. So
no, we don't.
I'll say we won't, because that Notts Forest one was a blip of all blips that has put us from being favourites of everything.
Yeah, it was a blip, but at the same time, you look at what Forest are actually doing this season, and you can't actually discredit them. In fairness, they're absolutely, I think, the third now, aren't they?
I discredited them before when I said they're absolutely shit, and no one's asked about playing them. But no, they're doing well, lad. They are doing well, and I think that loss has engraved itself into Arne Slot's bald head, and he can't let it go. And I think that's a good thing. I think Sutton, if it was all cushy, there would be, room for a bit of a disaster elsewhere later on in the season when it feels a bit worse. So to get that out the way early and to learn from it straight away, and we have learned from it, we've looked so much better since. It can only be a plus, and I think the fact that is, I feel like in my head he's thinking we could go invincible here, and they fucked it. I fucking hate Notts Forest, and that's where I think his head's at. I think he just wants to win every game, and game by game we're doing it, lad. I just can't speak highly enough of the man, because he come in, a bit like obviously overexcited because he told everyone in the world he was going to be our manager before we announced it or Feyenoord announced it. He was keen to have the job, but he come in with his own personality, and I said to you, very much Rafa-like, bit cold, bit distant. Don't think he's really interested in engaging with the fans or having best mates within the team. He just wants to manage and win football matches. As time's gone by, his personality's creeping in a bit more. He's getting a personality with the press and the media. He's taking the piss out of them. He's swearing. He's, making comments on players, and he's approaching the fans, and he's accepting the embrace that he's getting off the fans because, he's already got a banner on the cop and he's already got a song that Jurgen Klopp produced. So it couldn't be any better at the minute, other than that one that's for game.
Yeah. Oh no! You know what? It's going to be mad to see what the season looks like. At the end of the season, we look back and it's going to be that fucking one game against Notts Forest. But no, I say, they're doing well. It's like Palace last season when they come to Anfield and beat us. I would have been more pissed off about it if they didn't go on a run of about 6 wins on a run. Just unfortunately, it's just one of them. You play a team who are in decent form and they get the better of you. But yeah, it like you said, that is ingrained in his head. Everything is about that Forest game, and yeah, like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's if that's what's spurring us on at the minute, that one defeat, then fucking it's working. Long may it continue. It's just and you go on to Saturday now, Villa, at home, 8 o'clock game, fucking stupid. I think I seen someone say that's because they played yesterday. That they can't have the half-12 one because it's a TNT game.
Put it on Sunday then.
Yeah.
Might as well play the Sunday.
So, yeah, Villa, going to be a tough game, but again, they lost last night against Club Brugge. I think they lost at the weekend as well, I think. I can't remember.
They've lost 3 on the bounce, haven't they?
Yeah. They might have, League Cup. And then, they have lost 3 on the bounce, you're right. So, it's a difficult one. You could say it's a good time to play them because they're not in great form, but at the same time, you could probably go, it's not a good time to play them because they'll want to bounce back even more now because they have lost 3 on the spin. But as good as they have been in the last couple of seasons under Unai Emery, it's still a team we should be beating.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be like a European side because he's a fucking brilliant manager. And I think he's a bit like Slot. I think he'll dissect our tactics, but which going to be a bit contradictory now because I don't think we have any. I think we're an impossible team to dissect because he goes off what you're about to do. I think we have that many different tactics throughout the game. We do change the way we play based on situations. So I think it is going to be a game of chess for a bit, and then hopefully we just blow up like we have been doing. I think we could. I think we could pulverise them if we get going. If we get an early goal or we get an early goal in the second half at 0-0, then I think we can do the same as we've done to Leverkusen. But we can't be expecting that every week. That was a massive blow up on Bommy night from the Reds. We went for it, we exploded, and we did, and the atmosphere did. But I think the Villa, I'm saying, is the biggest game because of where we're at, where they're at, and the fact that we've ticked off all the teams. Liverpool have got this run of 10 games now. It's getting close to the end of that run of 10 games. Yeah. And it's win, draw, win. So if we can add another win to that list, it just shows how good we are. And I think if we beat Villa on Saturday, I'll have a bit more belief that we can go on to win the league.
Yeah, I mean, the belief grows game by game at the minute. As I've said, I refuse to say those words through PTSD more than anything. So I will not be saying anything like that. But no, the belief does grow game by game. And as I say, the more you keep sort of grinding out these results where we're not playing we're not playing fantastic football all the time, but you're still getting the wins. They're the ones you want. And it at the minute, it has kind of got that little bit of a 1920 feel about it. Like, where there was a lot of games that season where we didn't play well and we were just grinding out results. And that's what, that dragged ourselves to the title that year, and it's kind of got that little bit of a feeling again where we are kind of just dragging ourselves to wins and 3 points every step of the way. And yeah, as I say, the belief grows, and it's weird to be talking about it like this 10 games in, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like I say, it's a testament to the job that Slot's done since he's coming, because as I said, it has been nothing short of remarkable.
It's just the games, the way we're winning games as well. As you say, we haven't played brilliant for the 90 minutes of any game yet. And when we do, God help whoever we play. But the likes of Brighton coming from behind to win, they're big moments in title challenges. They are the massive. That gave me the Andy Robbo against Aston Villa away vibe. I think it was the 1920 season.
Sorry.
I think it was
Yeah.
the 1920 season. Robbo scored late on against Villa, and that's when the belief came that we can go on to do this. A bit too early to say that against Brighton. Loads of things can change, but I do think the run of fixtures we've had and the injuries we've had as well. We've had Canati out for a bit. We've had Allison out for ages. We've had Jota out for ages. Key players, massive players that when they come back into the fold, they're only going to get better. So yeah, I think if we can do the biz against Aston Villa, and if 1 or 2 results can go our way as well, I'll be on my way to completely believing that it can happen.
Yeah, and you say about that run of 10 games, and after the Villa one, you say we're coming to the end of it, then it's probably the 2 big ones then, obviously Madrid and City in short space of time. But I think if we come out of them 2 games unscathed, then you're really starting to look at the bigger picture, aren't you, and starting to really believe. But no, you're right about the injuries, and I think it's been a big part of our sort of shortcomings every season the last few years. And if we can be lucky with it this season, obviously right now you've got Alisson and Jota. Got lucky with Kanate that it was only sort of a nothing injury that he got against Brighton. Come off at half time. By the way, Joe Gomez, when he come on at half time against Brighton, fantastic performance. Thought just bringing that up. Man of the match for me in that game, to be honest with you. Thought he was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, we're fortunate with that with Kanate, because I think he's been fantastic this season. Don't think he's put a foot wrong so far this season.
People go on about Saliba and that as at the minute the best centre halves in the world, Van Dijk and Kanate. Kanate's been faultless. I mean, absolutely brilliant in everything he's done. He's still got the Sacco in him where he can make a mad mistake, but nothing's harmed us too much yet. I think he's cost us 1 goal, hasn't he? Or yeah, what was the goal where he never spoke to the keeper, never cleared it?
Yeah, I know. What was it? I can't remember. No, it wasn't Palace. That was 1-0. Can't remember. I know what you mean anyway. Yeah, because I remember tweeting about it.
He has little moments of madness in his head but at this moment in time, I think he's been unbelievable. And again, I think Gomez has overtook Quanta in that role of the 3rd place. But I've always thought he's been a bit poorly treated, Gomez, anyway, in that sense, where Quanta just come in out of nowhere and took his place. Gomez has been brilliant in left back, right back, centre half. So yeah, made up for him getting a bit of a chance. He's coming on to show games up, and he does exactly that. He shows it up, and you don't feel like you're going to lose when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, no, you don't. And I agree with you. I mean, don't get me wrong, Quanta was fantastic for us last season. He really was. This season, he just hasn't done it. I think he was like, he got brought off at half time against Ipswich. Rightly so, wasn't having a great game. And then I think every time he's played, it was unfortunate. I don't know what one it was where I think it might have been the Brighton one, the League Cup one. I think he's give the ball away and then deflected the second one in. So he's had I think he had a bad 10 minutes there, but overall his game wasn't too bad in that one. I don't know. I just think his confidence just seems to be shot at the minute.
He's having no luck. Well, the likes of that lad, they make you look stupid. But Slot's still bringing him on for 10-15 minutes. He brought him on the other night, which it's not a complete lack of faith in him, but you're better bringing him on a 4-0 up at the moment.
Yeah. But he'll bounce back. He's young. He's 20, 21.
If he stops texting birds on Instagram, he will.
And how you're concentrating on the wrong game.
I know. Now, 20-year-old lad with loads of dough and a boss car, what's he going to do? Fucking text every bird he knows and doesn't know. Good on you, lad.
Yeah, fair play. No, he's just, it's just not going his way at the minute, as I say. And he'll bounce back from it, he will, because we've seen how good he was last season for us. And, he was on the brink of the England squad, for it last season. So we know he's good enough. It's just, he needs to just regain that confidence. And I don't know. It's almost like he's trying a bit too hard. So some of the passes he's trying to play, which he's giving the ball away for, are just like they're never going to be made. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell they're going to get cut out or not make the target straight away. And it's just like he's trying a bit hard. Maybe he's been told Gomez is ahead of him now, and he's trying to make Slot change his mind a little bit, give him a reason to say otherwise. But just not going his way at the minute. But it happens.
I know, but again, even the passes he is making, none of the other defenders are doing it because that's not how we play at the moment. So that's what Slot said. Like, he doesn't want us to take risks unnecessarily in that. He wants us to play football, and that's where he is a bit different from Klopp, is that there's a little bit less risk without reason. Do you know what I mean? So when he is passing them balls across the midfield, and he done it last season with Fernandes as well, didn't he? On loose ball, and he nearly done it again against Brighton. So he's just got to be careful. But again, you only get confident from doing something that's a bit risky and it going well. If that pass works out and we attack off it, then his confidence goes through the roof. So it's a game of football. It's just a mad game in it where you can be up and down in the sake of a minute. So all you need is one good moment and he'll be back to his best, lad. Simple as.
Yeah. So yeah, Villa game now, as we said, going to be a big one at the weekend. Can really. It's a statement match. I think we can really make a statement for the rest of the season in that match. Hopefully, Arsenal and City continue to struggle as they have been the last couple of games. And yeah, it's just everything's just falling into place for us. It's like it's quite nice, and I don't know. It's not the same kind of excitement that you had for Jurgen Klopp's team going for the title, is it? It's just you just feel relaxed about it, and you're like, yeah, okay, we're going to win here. It's like, I don't know what it is. It just feels different, but good.
I think because it's new and because there's no pressure on us, we're allowed to relax and just enjoy it and see what it is. If we get beaten a game, it's sort of like, well, do you know what? Fucking hell, we weren't expecting to win every game anyway. Whereas under Klopp, you were. You had to want to win every single match. And if you never, I think we nearly won every single game one season. We drew or lost one, and we were disappointed.
Yeah,
that's just the machine he built. But this new machine that's going through the gears now it's a different style. It's relieved the pressure off all of us with a new manager in charge, and we can just enjoy the footy. We can just enjoy the results, and if others are losing around us, then makes it even better. You're always, being a Liverpool fan, you're always waiting for something drastic to happen that goes against you, but at the moment things are just falling into our favour, and it's nice to witness for once, because usually everything goes against us, and teams who are were battling against us are getting penalties, and penalties not given against them, and handballs and shit like that. This season the decisions have levelled themselves out a little bit. No one seems to be getting that much of a helping hand, barring City, the twice they've had it, but it's not enough for them at the moment. So we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, stop watching the others, stop being bothered. If they do drop points, enjoy it. If they win, just make sure we win as well. But yeah, Villa, then Madrid, then City. It's the last three of a tough 10, and so far we've come out looking all right. So I think we should again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to ask you for the score prediction for the Villa game, but what you ruined it for me. For God's sake. Kev, I apologise. I weren't going to ask him for the score prediction, except for where I was going to ask him for the score prediction. I'll take any, and I don't care at the minute. I can easily see it being a 1-0 game, but then at the same time, like you said before, I do see a scenario where we could blitz them as well. So, yeah, as long as we get 3 points, I'm happy.
I think with them having a point to prove, and they've got to try and come out and make a bit of a statement themselves to prove that they do belong in the top four and in the Champions League and stuff. You know, it's a big season for them, for their fans. They haven't been in the Champions League for years. They need to be able to do well in the league as well. So they're going to come out and they're going to try and hurt us, I think, early on. I don't think they're going to try and play for a draw or be cautious. I think they're going to just try and put the sword to us. And we've got to take it on the chin, absorb it, and go at them. But again, if we can sit in and play boring footy for 45 minutes and go in at half time 0-0 and then kill them, I'll take it all day.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we will be back next week. Obviously, internationals after this weekend, which is a pain in the ass once again. But I do believe it's the last one until March or April then. So
it always before fucking 2 big games for us though. I hate it. Absolutely fucking despise it.
I know.
You'll end up Jones will play every game, get injured, fucking kills. Gomez will probably play. Canate, everyone will play, and we'll have no team against Real Madrid.
Resort to Stigging will be on a bit left back. But yeah, no, we will be back next week, obviously, to discuss the Villa game. I know it's been a bit stop-start with us the last couple of months, really, through one reason or another. We would have had one last week, but couldn't get schedules synced up, and then Jay was selfish and went to Amsterdam. So yeah, can't blame him for that. Like. Can't blame him for that. I'll be honest. If I had the chance to go there instead, I would have won as well. So yeah, fair play.
Oh, great, fucking great. Anyone going to the match on Saturday? I will have a stall at Hotel Tier from about 4 o'clock selling Scouse Republic merchandise. So get over there. 21 Anfield Road, next to Taggies. Pop in through the red door, out the back, have a bevy, buy a top. Happy days. I'll also have a little bucket for Zoe's place if anyone wants to donate to that as well.
There you go. And yeah, obviously, speaking of Zoe's place, just before we go, you've obviously had the t-shirts going for it, which has done well. You had Ian in the blue one. Obviously, he despises the colour blue, so fair play to him for doing that. But obviously, he managed to help raise a lot for it as well. We both took part in that Scout Splat challenge. Thanks for that, by the way. So yeah, there's, like I said, there's all kinds going around for it. They're just under 500 grand away from the target now, so they've got a couple of days to do it. Whether they can do it or not remains to be seen.
2 massive football teams in the city, well, one massive and one used to be massive, that had that amount of money, they could just spare. Be mad, wouldn't it? Isn't it mad? Fucking need to open them out or shared anything. Absolute shite.
It's a, I don't know. You're talking about businessmen and who aren't from the city, who don't really.
No, you're talking about 2 long-term establishments in the city. You've got the fella from Home and Bargain having to fucking put millions in because the biggest firms in the city won't. Now, I don't know whether something's being done.
To be fair, Home and Bargain is it earns a lot more money than Liverpool or Everton a year. And is a Scouse business. It 100% does. Guarantee it makes more money than both clubs. Everton.
No, but what I'm saying is, he's a Scouse lad who's, say he's a businessman on his fucking trod, has threw that money in off his own back. He doesn't represent Liverpool. He's got a shop in Liverpool, opened in Liverpool, but now he's all around the UK. Liverpool and Everton are situated in Liverpool. They're only in Liverpool. There's this thing they're trying to save. They go round every year for Christmas photos for the Echo, and they can't put a few quid in. It's fucking scandalous. Trent Alexander-Arnold has had to be bullied by Adam Rowe into putting money in. He's just put 20 grand in himself after a rant from Adam Rowe. Apparently, that's how it looks. It's got to nearly the last few days, and both clubs haven't fucking even shared it. They haven't done anything. They haven't done it. Everton done a match day collection and let some little kids run around the pitch to raise money.
Didn't Liverpool put like 500 grand in through the former players foundation or something?
Don't know.
Yeah, there was definitely something to do with the ex-players and that, but I think that's through the club. But not as the club, if that makes sense.
If Liverpool have donated 500 grand and have been outdone by Ormond Bargain, I'll be disgusted. But the clubs at the very least have got what? Liverpool have got millions of followers worldwide who, if you told them to shit in their hands and clap, they probably would, because it's for Liverpool. So if you could tell them to donate £1 to Zoe's place, I'm sure they would as well. So just share the fucking page. Not that hard.
Yeah. No, it's like I say, it's businessmen from Boston and who don't, there's been that conversation for the whole time they've been here. How they don't get the city, and they don't really understand what the club means to the city and things like that.
The people they employ, though, lad, the foundation and that, they employ people from all over the city in the club who'll have spoke to them. In my opinion, I'm hoping something's been done in the background and they've wanted no acknowledgement for it. But
I mean, Adam Rowe said weeks ago that the clubs had been speaking to them the whole time. So for him to then come out and say that they are, like, I don't know what he said. I haven't seen any updates. But if he's now saying that they haven't, then either he's lying or they're lying, and I don't want to believe that either of them are lying. You know what I mean?
And he gains nothing from lying, does he? Because he just wants funds in for Zoe's place. He's getting nothing out of it other than sharing it. So, as I say, if it's two football teams, Everton had a kid running around the footy pitch to raise money, never donated the fucking penny themselves, as far as I'm aware, and Liverpool have done fuck all themselves. A football players meeting was raised 20 grand through Trent, from what I've read from the Echo. So that's all the club have contributed, as far as I'm concerned. Even if they were tied up and they were about to drop into the red zone financially and they couldn't spare any money, share the fucking page. Not that hard. Put it on the tannoy, go round with a bucket, do something, but they haven't. So, shite.
Let's just wait and see. As I say, they've got about 480 grand left to raise by Friday. I think it is, yeah, Friday. No, Saturday, sorry. So let's just hope and pray that they fucking are able to pull it off, because at the end of the day, regardless of who hasn't or who hasn't put money in or money towards it or anything like that, the main thing is that they reach the goal and they're able to carry on the work they do. That's all that matters at the minute.
You've got small businesses and individual people alike just doing fucking random challenges and scouse splat and all that to try and raise a few quid. You know what I mean? Like, you've got people you've got working class fellas who've got their own little companies, sparking businesses and joinery, donating £1 grand here and there out of their own pocket that they probably haven't fucking got to give away, but it's a massive, important situation. And then you've got mints of people who are doing nothing. So it just baffles me. I'll never get my head around stuff like that. Baffles me. But yeah, hopefully someone comes and saves the day and they get the money. If not, fucking, it's going to be ludicrous. I don't know what'll happen. I think they've said all the money's stored and will be passed back to everyone if they don't quite get there. So that's just fucking grim if that's the situation at the end of it. But
I don't think people will. I think majority of people would end up just saying, keep it anyway, kind of thing, if they don't reach the target. I'm sure sure they can do something with it though, like.
Nowhere.
But I say,
the land, they can't do it, so it's finito.
Let's just see what happens. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they can get it sorted. But yeah, as I said, we will be back next week to discuss the Villa game, and then we'll all hate international football after it. So until next time, up the top of the tables, plural, red.
Up the Reds.